Hello everyone, so today we're going to look at the circulatory system and we're going to look at how it works in our body, where it goes and what it does. So there's three main locations that we need to be aware of our circulatory system, which I've already written on my board today. So you can see we've got the lungs at the top, heart, body. Now obviously this diagram is not going to be a representation of where they are in the body in realistic terms, but these are going to be the three locations that we are focusing on: lungs, heart, body. And this is because we need to look at the movement of oxygen. So obviously oxygen is going to be taken in from the lungs and it's going to be picked up in the lungs and it's going to be transported through the heart to the body, and then we're going to deposit our oxygen there. We're going to pick up carbon dioxide in our body. It's going to go passing through the heart and back to the lungs. So we're looking at the movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Obviously this is going to be ventilated in and out through breathing, through the mouth and the nose, etc. So the first thing we need to know is that our circulatory system is what we call a double circulatory system, and that means it flows through the heart twice. So it's going to go through our heart twice, and we'll see that in a minute when I draw those journeys on. So if we take our lungs, we've picked up our oxygen, that oxygen is going to travel from the lungs to the heart, and what we're going to call oxygenated blood, which we generally represent in diagrams in red. So this oxygenated blood, it carries oxygen that's going to go from the lungs through our blood vessels, through what we call our pulmonary vein, into the heart. So we're going to be using our pulmonary vein into the heart. Now it's interesting to point out the pulmonary vein is the only vein in the body that carries oxygenated blood. All other veins in the body carry deoxygenated blood, which we'll look at in a minute. The pulmonary vein is special, it's the only one that goes into the heart carrying oxygenated blood. That oxygenated blood is going to pass through our heart and then it's going to travel through our arteries into our body, through our capillaries, so on. So it's going to first come out of the blood vessel called the aorta, which is an artery because it begins with A, and it's going to then go through our arteries into our body, into our capillary network, where it's going to deposit all that oxygen into the body and pick up all this carbon dioxide. So this carbon dioxide now needs to be removed from our body. Now it's in our blood, so we're going to use a blue pen to show it's deoxygenated. It's generally what we use in diagrams. So that's going to go to the heart. So this is going to be through our veins. Veins go into the heart because they have in the name, so that's a way to remember it. It's going to be deoxygenated blood, and it's eventually going to reach a vein called the vena cava, which is the main vein into the heart. From the heart it then needs to go to the lungs, so the heart is then going to pump that to the lungs, and it's going to do that in a blood vessel called the pulmonary artery. Again, this is an artery, A for artery. It is the only artery in the body that pumps deoxygenated blood anywhere. Just like the pulmonary vein pumps oxygenated blood, it's the only vein that does that. The pulmonary artery is the only artery that has deoxygenated blood as it's going to the lungs. And then obviously that carbon dioxide is going to be released out of our respiratory system, and that new oxygen is going to take in, and it's going to continue again and again. And it's going to continue around our body in this double figure of 8 sort of pattern in this double circulatory system. And that's everything you need to know about the circulatory system.